Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing my favorite bronzers. I did a video like this a couple years ago, but I have some new bronzers that I really love. I have some drugstore and some high-end bronzers in this video, so let's get started with some CoverGirl. So from CoverGirl, this is the full spectrum bronzer. This is one of the newer ones that came out probably I think this year. So when I first got this bronzer, I did a comparison video to the Queen Ebony bronzer, and I think they were very similar. I actually like this one a little bit better because it was not as red as that other bronzer, so definitely check it out. It has a slight bit of sparkle to it, but it's nothing that's really noticeable. If you're not into that, you will still like it. It's a really nice bronzer, and you can definitely pack it on and make it a lot deeper than it looks in this little container. So definitely try it out if you haven't already, and if you have tried it out, let me know how you feel about it in the comment section down below. So the next bronzer is definitely Fenty Beauty. Okay, Fenty Beauty dropped some bronzers this year. Girl, I was so excited. I love bronzers, so when I heard that, I was like, yes. Sign me up. Okay, so the first one I have is Cocoa Mommy, which is the deepest shade in the Fenty bronzer line, and this one has a slight red tone to it. So I do use it sparingly because if I use too much, then I can turn into like a red person, and I don't want to be a red person. Okay, the next one I have is Cocoa Naughty. Now this one is kind of a little bit too light for me sometimes. Like right now it does work for me, but in the summertime it's like too light for a bronzer. But what I always use this for is for my nose contour. Like I use it all the time for my nose, like whether I'm using it for my whole face or not, I tend to go for this. I tend to reach for this one for my nose contour. Today I use another bronzer I'm going to show you guys in a second, but I use this one to contour my nose just because I think it's better, because it's like not as deep, so it looks, you know, more natural, I guess. This is what they look like side by side. You can see one is definitely more red and this one is a lot lighter. And then this is the CoverGirl bronzer next to the two of them. This is the CoverGirl bronzer next to the two of them. You can tell the CoverGirl is more neutral than Mocha Mommy. It's definitely like not as red. So yeah, that's what they look like all three together. The next bronzer is the one that I'm wearing right now. This one is from Benefit and is the Hoola bronzer in the shade Toasted. So Benefit launched new Hoola bronzers. I think it was this year they launched Toasted and Caramel. If you have a deeper skin tone like me, Toasted is the one that's gonna work for your skin tone. It looks really light in the container. Like when I first saw it, I was like, nice try, girl. But it actually does work. Like I have it on today. I have it on my cheek right here. You can see it. It shows up. It blends really well. It's a beautiful color. Really smooth application. It's a really great product. I think they can definitely add more shades to their bronzer line because their bronzer is really popular. Like Hoola bronzer was definitely like that, girl. So I do think they can add more shades. I'll show you guys next to Fenty Mocha Mommy how deep this one is. I feel like a lot of you guys might have Fenty Beauty Mocha Mommy, so I'm gonna show you guys next to Benefit. Benefit. So you can see them next to each other. This is Benefit, this is Fenty. So you can see that Fenty is a little bit deeper, but it also has some more red tones to it than this bronzer. And I'm also going to show you guys next to the CoverGirl bronzer what this one looks like. So this is CoverGirl, this is Mocha Mommy, and this is Benefit. Okay, let me put it over here. So you can see it does look lighter than the CoverGirl bronzer, but like I said, it does show up on my skin tone. And I do know people who are deeper than me that actually use this bronzer as well, and it works for them. It's like one of those looks to be deceiving type of bronzers where it looks lighter than it really is in real life. So definitely try it out for yourself on your face over your makeup. Don't go swatching it and being like, oh, this is not gonna work. Like try it out. Like actually try it out. The next bronzer is from Prime Beauty, and this is in the shade Bronzeville. This is a newer bronzer to me. It's not super new, but it's new to my collection. All right, so this is what the bronzer looks like on the inside. This is one of those bronzers when I first got it, like I could not stop using it. I fell in love with it. I think it's a beautiful color. It looks really nice on my skin tone. Most of the ones I'm going to show you guys are matte bronzers. This one is also a matte bronzer, and I'll show you guys next to I'll show you guys next to Mocha Mommy. So this is the Prime Beauty bronzer next to Mocha Mommy. Mocha Mommy again is deeper, but really I think the redness in this bronzer makes it look a lot deeper than it really is. Anyways, this is what they look like side by side. So this is the CoverGirl bronzer here, and this is the Prime Beauty one. Again, this is one of those bronzers that looks a little lighter than it is in real life. So although it looks lighter than the CoverGirl, like you're gonna get a lot of pigment from this bronzer, and it does show up on your skin tone. Don't like, looks are deceiving, okay? Like I really do not think it's lighter than this bronzer. I think it's around the same amount of deepness, but sometimes the way things are packaged or like packed into the palette, it looks lighter than it really is. Also, I'll show you guys next to the Benefit bronzer. bronzer, in case you were curious. So this is the Prime Beauty bronzer next to the Benefit bronzer, and you can see they look very, very similar. And it's kind of funny because those are the two ones that look lighter than they really are, but they look similar kind of in like shade. And again, they're very similar on the skin. They're gonna look just as deep, and I think you guys will like all of these. So yeah, these are the two next to each other, and I'll show you guys my next favorite one, which is in the palette. So we're going back to Drugstore, and this is Bare Minerals. What, girl? This is the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. This is the dark to deep one. There's a medium to dark, and then this is dark to deep. This is the inside of this palette. Now this one, I love the middle shade in this palette. It's really nice. It's a nice chocolatey brown shade. So it's a lot darker than it looks in the palette. So be careful. Don't go crazy with it. It's definitely very pigmented, okay? So this is the Sculpt product, but it's like a bronzer, I think. So yeah, this is that one. Also, the medium to dark one is really nice as well, but I wanted to show you guys this one because it's newer and maybe you haven't seen it yet, but definitely check it out. Also, this highlighter in here is poppin', okay? It's really like, it's it. This is it. The next bronzer is from Anastasia, and this is an older bronzer. It's in the shade Mahogany, and this is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys remember, but when this bronzer came out, there was like 6 bronzers, and this was definitely different. Like usually brands launch like 3 bronzers and none of them are deep. So this was definitely like an epic launch when it came out. This color is really nice as well. Again, it looks lighter than it really is, and it does show up on my deeper skin tone. I remember thinking this bronzer was super, super light, but then when I use it actually did show up. But if you're looking for something deeper, then Fenty Mocha Mami is definitely deeper than this one, and I think the Benefit bronzer is also deeper than this bronzer. You can see it's deeper than this bronzer. So the next bronzer is from Morphe. This is another one that is deeper than it looks in the pan. This is called Phenom, and it's part of their Glamour Bronze collection. I'm not sure if this is permanent, but if you're looking for something permanent, the shade Morphe Showmance is definitely permanent. I do have it somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I'll put a picture of Showmance right here. Like, I love Showmance. I used to use it all the time. Like, girl, like I was obsessed. It's definitely a deeper bronzer, and it works for deeper skin tones. It has a highlighter next to it. So if you're looking for something deeper, definitely check out Showmance from Morphe, because that one is amazing. Morphe does have quite a selection for bronzer, which is amazing because it's a struggle out here, okay? Like, it's a struggle. Next up is one of my favorites. I love this bronzer. The thing about this bronzer that irritates me is it's super hard to find. Like, it's almost impossible to find this bronzer. I feel like at this point it might be discontinued, but I'll definitely try to find it online for you guys. I got this at Neiman Marcus. It is the Terracotta bronzer from Guerlain in number 9 Intense. Now, there's several shades in this bronzer, but for some reason this shade is hard to find. Like, you can find every other shade, I feel like, but this shade is just like impossible. But it's so perfect. Once again, I'm going to show you guys next to Fenty. This is Fenty Mocha Mami, and this is this bronzer here. Woo! It looks a lot lighter, but girl, trust me, it's not as light as it looks. Like, it does work, okay? So this is my face powder here, and this is the bronzer. You could tell it's definitely deeper. Face powders always look like this, but once you put it on, it actually does match you. Like, I have it on right now and it matches me. But you can tell the bronzer is definitely deeper. It's not super deep, like I said. It's not a really dark bronzer, but it does show up and it gives you a beautiful look. Like, you look so sun-kissed with this bronzer. Like, it looks super natural. If you're looking for like a natural, like, sun-kissed look, this is your girl. The next bronzer I have to show you guys is Becca's Maui Nights. This is like the only bronzer that is slightly like reddish coppery that I actually like really don't mind it. Like, I love this bronzer. I think it's so beautiful. Like, I can go ham with it and feel like completely confident and okay with it. I don't mind the slight red tone that this bronzer gives. I think it's the formula, or like just the way it looks in general. It does have a slight bit of like a sheen to it, so maybe that helps me like just feel like sun-kissed, and I don't mind like the red tint. But it's a beautiful bronzer. It's amazing. I love it. I know a lot of people love it as well. Becca Maui Nights was definitely like that girl, okay? A lot of these were definitely that girl. The next bronzer is from Beauty Bakery, and it's in the Coffee and Cocoa palette. And this is Anti-Depresso, which is this shade right here. This is a really, really nice bronzer. This is like the true shimmery like sheen bronzer, and I really love this color. It's so beautiful. It's like a coffee bean with a nice sheen to it. It's so beautiful, you guys. Like if you're looking for a bronzer that's going to give you that really nice dewy bronze, this is definitely it. The sun hits you and you just look like a goddess, girl. Like this is a beautiful color. The next two bronzers are both from MAC, and the first one is called Sweet as Cocoa. It's a blush. I think they're both blushes actually, and this one is beautiful. It has a slight shimmer to it, but it's just a beautiful bronzer. It just, you look so gorgeous. You will look so amazing with this bronzer, and I know a lot of people have it and they use it. It's just beautiful, okay? The next one is called Hard to Get, and Hard to Get is similar to the Beauty Bakery one that I just showed you guys. It has that sheen to it, but it's just so gorgeous. Like you will look amazing with this bronzer, like so amazing. Let me show you guys next to Beauty Bakery so you can see what it look like. Okay, this is the MAC one. You can see the MAC is definitely like more sheen, like, but I'll swatch them so you guys can see. This is the MAC one down here, and this is Beauty Bakery. If you're like my complexion and you want something that looks natural but with a sheen, go for the MAC Hard to Get because it's very similar to like our complexion. But if you want something that's gonna give you like deepness and the sheen, go for Beauty Bakery because it is definitely deeper, but it's gonna give you that beautiful like glow that you're looking for if you going for that look. Alright guys, so those are my favorite bronzers for 2019 so far. I'm not sure if there's any more bronzers launching this year, but I'm really curious. I'm always excited to see more bronzers for deeper skin tones. And I mean for all skin tones, but definitely like deeper ones because we never get bronzers. Give me a thumbs up, it really helps my channel, and also subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.